How's it going, everyone? It's Willow here, and welcome to this week's episode of But Why. Before we get into today's video, I want to address my thoughts on the Overwatch news we received this week. For those of you that don't know, they basically canceled the plans they had for PvE in Overwatch. And the reason they're doing it is because they can't meet the expectations they set. So what they're doing instead is releasing PvE missions every season or so. It's just, why even trust anything Blizzard says at this point that they're going to come out with anything? Because the whole reason for Overwatch 2 now was, let's just slap a big 2 on it, update our shop, add a battle pass, and I mean, it's good that we're getting live updates to the PvP and all, but everyone was excited for PvE, and that was like the whole namesake for making Overwatch 2 in the first place. So good on you, Blizzard. You're once again showing that you're a company that no one can trust. Anyways, that out of the way, let's get into today's video. I was given this idea by a friend of mine, if you know who you are, if you're watching, and we are going to be ranking every single boss in the Fromsoft saga of games. I want to preface this by saying I have not fought every single boss, and I will be sure to call out the ones that I have fought and which ones I haven't fought. Admittedly, I'm a bit of a fake fan. I have not finished Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls. I've played them both. I haven't finished them both. And I also have not played any of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs. But other than that, I've played and finished Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. So I am able to rank all of those, but I will be certain to call out what ones I have not fought as we go. So I'm just going to go in order, as you can see right here. Why can't you guys see? There we go. I've got some Dark Souls music playing in the background. Also, this is probably going to be a very long video, by the way, so strap in, and I'll try to make it in editing as short as possible. But no promises. Old Monk. So this is a PvP boss from Demon Souls. I admittedly have not fought it. So I have not fought the Old Monk. The Adjudicator. I believe this is the big tongue guy with the bird controlling him. I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I've only played Demon Souls once, but I think it was an okay boss. By the way, I should also preface that I'm not making this list based off of difficulty. I'm factoring in a couple things. I'm factoring in design, difficulty, like the quality of the boss, soundtrack, setting, boss room, just an overall like rating of the boss. So I'm taking everything into account here. The Old Hero. I think the idea of the Old Hero is such a cool idea. For those of you who don't know, he is blind and he only attacks where you make sound. And it's a really cool idea. That being said, I haven't fought him. Storm King, I also have not fought. Leechmonger, bad. I have fought it. It's not a hard boss. It's not a cool boss in any sense. And it's not hard. Dirty Colossus, can't say I've fought it. Maybe. I don't remember. Maiden Estrella, I also have not fought. Like I said, I haven't finished Demon Souls. The Penetrator. I have fought the Penetrator, and I think he's an amazing boss. His design is so cool. He's not anything special when it comes to difficulty, but he is one of the coolest designed bosses in Demon Souls, if not the coolest designed boss. The Blue Dragon, I don't even know what that is. Old King Alont, I have not fought. The Vanguard Demon. It's not anything special. It's the very first tutorial boss, but it's okay, I guess. King Alont, have not fought the actual true King Alont, but I know he's just this sludge that sits there. Primeval Demon, I don't even know what that is. Like I said, I'm a fake fan when it comes to Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. Phalanx, I have fought Phalanx. I would say it's a bad boss because it's just it's like a Deacons of the Deep sludge monster that is just weak to fire. Red Dragon, I believe I have fought the Red Dragon. It's nothing really special. It's just a Red Dragon. Tower Knight. I think Tower Knight as a boss is cool. It's another, what do you call it, from Bloodborne. It's like the one Reborn, but he's just this huge knight that also can cast spells. Armored Spider. I have fought the Armored Spider. I would say it's an okay boss at best. It's not bad. I think the design is pretty cool. The whole gimmick of getting up close to it is kind of annoying, but other than that, it's not bad. Flame Lurker. I think Flame Lurker is, I wouldn't say an amazing boss. I think his design is super cool. I'm not ordering tiers, by the way. I'm just kind of throwing them into tiers. But like, I think Flame Lurker is super cool as a boss. And no, everyone was upset that in the trailer to the Demon Souls remake that they changed his design in a way that wasn't faithful to the original. So they actually didn't end up changing it a bit. So good on Blue Point. Dragon God. I think the design of the Dragon God is really cool, but the fight itself hurts him a lot. So I'm going to put him in okay. Fool's Idol. I have fought the Fool's Idol. It's an annoying boss. It's not a cool boss in any sense. So I'm going to put it in bad. Maneater. I have not fought the Maneaters. Is that really it for Demon Souls? Jeez. What I'm learning from this list is like I've only fought half the bosses in Demon Souls and I put a good amount of time into that game. This is where the fake fan in me comes in and you guys see, oh, you haven't fought Ornstein and Smo. No, I have not fought Ornstein and Smo. I've gotten to Ornstein and Smo. I have not like fully beat Ornstein and Smo. Pinwheel. I have gotten to Pinwheel. I don't have too much to say other than I hate the freaking underground like catacomb area. Pinwheel is just plain bad. Gravernito. I think his design is cool. But like any boss fight that has like little guys in the boss room as well, like I like the 1v1s. I don't like skeletons coming around or anything like that. That being said, I don't think it deserves bad, so I'm gonna put him in okay. Great Grey Wolf Sif. I believe I have beat Grey Wolf Sif. His design and story revolving around Artorias and everything is enough for me to probably put him in good, but I believe I've only beaten him once and I don't have the greatest memory of the fight. Four Kings is an annoying fight. Like if you can't see the boss room or like even like get a good look at the boss, it's mad. I can't put Four Kings in bad, so I'll at least put them in okay. Demon Fire Sage. I believe I have beat the Fire Sage. Like I said, I've only like played Dark Souls, the first one, a couple times, and I've never actually like done a full playthrough. But the Demon Fire Sage is just a reskin of the Stray Demon, Centipede Demon. I don't think I've beaten the Centipede Demon, and now you guys can't see the bosses that were coming up. Okay, so you're just gonna have to trust me that down here, I'm just gonna read off the bosses as I talk about them. But you know, I have not beat the Centipede Demon, and as far as I know, that lava area down there is terrible because if you're in a boss room that also has lava in it, that's annoying. I gotta want to fight the boss with lava on the floor, because that way I'm fighting the boss room and the boss, and I don't want to do that. Okay, Bed of Chaos. I've never actually beat the Bed of Chaos. Apparently, it's super annoying, but I remember people hating it. So when we get to the later Souls games, I'll be able to offer much more insight on bosses other than I don't remember this, I don't remember that. You'll see as we go. Seat the Scaleless. I have beat Seat the Scaleless. I thought he was bullshit at first. Like I didn't get how his boss fight worked, but I can't put him in bad, so we're going to put him in okay. Stray Demon. It's just another reskin of Asylum Demon. And here we have Asylum Demon, the first original one, which is the tutorial boss of Dark Souls, the original. I think I'm at least going to put him in okay, because he's the original. He's the cool one. He's not difficult in any sense, but he kind of sets up the idea of what Dark Souls is supposed to be. Crossbreed Priscilla, I've never fought. Dark Sun Gwendolyn, I have never fought. Gwen, Lord of Cinder, I have never fought. Sanctuary Guardian, I've never fought. Knight Artorias, I've never fought him, admittedly, and I hate that I haven't. I hate that I haven't finished Dark Souls 1 as a whole, but Knight Artorias, I objectively have to put him in top tier, because he's like probably the coolest design boss in the series, just like the way he looks and his story and everything. He's just freaking cool. Dragon Calamite, I have not fought. Manus, Father of the Abyss, I have not fought, but I have heard he is super difficult. Taurus Demon, I have fought. It's nothing special, but he's not bad. Bell Gargoyles, they're not. It's the first original gank boss. They're not good. We're going to be putting him in bad. Moonlight Butterfly, I have fought. Nothing special, but not bad, so we're going to be putting him in okay. Capra Demon, nothing special, and you have two dogs in the arena. I would say it's bad. But the design of him is cool. Gaping Dragon, I have fought. It is annoying because he's like, I feel like you're just chasing him and he's got these whack hitboxes. He's kind of annoying, but I feel like he's not worth bad at least. Chaos Witch Quelaag. Top. No, I'm kidding. I feel like Chaos Witch Quelaag could be good, but I'm going to put her in okay. Gosh, I'm going to have to freaking here. Now you guys aren't going to be able to read anything though. Like I don't even know if you could read anything before, but hopefully that's a bit better. What if I did this? Hold on. Okay, maybe that's a bit better. I know I'm gonna kind of have to kind of keep switching it around, and maybe you guys can't even read this in the first place, but Ceaseless Discharge is not anything special. I'm gonna put him in bad. Iron Golem is also not really anything super special either, but I'm gonna put them in okay. Okay, now we're getting to Dark Souls 2, which, except for the DLCs, I believe I have beat every single boss in Dark Souls 2, except for some of the optional bosses. The Rotten. I think the Rotten gets a bad rap, but I would not call it a good boss, so we're gonna be putting him in okay. Executioner's Chariot. My first playthrough of Dark Souls 2, I thought he was one of the cooler bosses in the game. But it's another puzzle room boss. You don't even really fight the thing until you get to the horse. It's not a bad boss. I'm willing to put it in good. Might be an unpopular opinion. Skeletal Lords. It's a gimmick fight. I'm almost tempted to put it in bad, and I think I will put it in bad. The Covetous Demon. This is Jabba the Hutt. Everyone loves this boss. He's a meme. He's not difficult in any sense, so I think that's going to be our first abysmal boss. Mytha the Baneful Queen. I think it's a cool boss. I think the idea of it's cool. I think it's cool that you can get the poison out of the arena if you burn the windmill. Yeah, I'm willing to put her in okay. Smelter Demon. We're going to be putting Smelter Demon in the good tier. Oh gosh, that feels awkward putting him in like same tier as like Executioner's Chariot. You know what? We're going to put Smelter Demon in amazing. Cool boss fight. Old Iron King. This is just a Balrog from Lord of the Rings. It's not hard in any sense, and his design's pretty cool. That gets him brownie points. And his boss room is cool. So I'm willing to put him overall in good. Scorpioness Nika? Is that Nijka? I can't even read it because it's too zoomed out. How are you guys going to be able to? It's nothing special, and it's just a Quaalag, like, ripoff. Okay, so I know we're, like, a good bit into the video already, but I've decided to change up the layout a bit, so that way you guys can read along with me. Scorpionus Nijka, like we said, it's just a copy, basically, of Quaalag, and it's just not a faithful recreation, so I'm putting her in bad. Royal Rat Authority, bad. Anything like you do with like a lesser enemy and just turn it into a boss, it's just not cool. Prowling Vegas and Congregation, abysmal, terrible boss. The Last Giant. The lore behind him is super cool. If you don't know it, look it up. He's like basically the giant lord in the future. We're gonna be putting him in okay because he's not bad. His lore is cool. I think his sound design and boss room is really cool, and he's essentially the first boss in Dark Souls 2. The Duke's Deer Freya. I think the Duke's Deer Freya is a cool boss. It's a big spider, but like I said, if it's a boss fight that is like riddled with other enemies in the room, that loses points for me. That being said, I don't think it's enough to make them bad. Twin Dragon Riders. This is just Dragon Riders, but 2 of them, and it is I'd say it's bad. It's not abysmal, it's just bad. Looking Glass Knight. I think this is one of the better bosses in Dark Souls 2, and I'm willing to put him in amazing because I think the design of him is cool. The fact that you can get a player summoned into your arena is really cool, and him just in general and his boss room and his music, he's just a cool boss. Demon of Song, bad boss. It's ugly, it's not hard. The boss arena is pretty cool, but it's after like one of the worst areas in Dark Souls 2, being the Shrine of I don't even remember what it's called, Shrine of Amana. It's just not a cool boss. It's a frog thing that you can't even attack it all the time because it has that shell. So it's a bit of an annoying fight, and it's not cool. It goes in bad. Veldstad. I think Veldstad is one of the cooler enemies in Dark Souls 2, and I'm willing to put him in. His difficulty hurts him a teeny tiny bit, but his design is so cool. But I think I'm going to keep it amazing. I'm going to look at this list later, and then I'm going to realize, oh, I'm putting bosses like the Nameless King in amazing alongside Veldstad, and I'm going to be like, I don't know how I feel about that. But this is what we're going with for now. Vendrick. Vendrick, the boss fight is meh. He has one of the cooler stories in the entire series, however. in order to even fight him, you have to get the, what are they, the giant seeds or the giant souls or whatever they're called. I think we're going to be putting Vendrick in okay, just because I can't really see him being anything other than okay. The Guardian Dragon, it is nothing special, and you've fought them in Hyde's Tower of Flame before, and I don't think this Guardian Dragon deserves even a boss fight itself. So we're going to be putting it in bad. Ancient Dragon. I believe I have fought the Ancient Dragon before, and he's kind of a bit of a joke of a boss. He's super cool looking, but he is such a disappointing fight, and he's got like broken fire hitboxes that do an obscene amount of damage. So I think we're going to be putting him in okay. The Giant Lord. He's like the, what do you call it? The last giant, but he has a sword. And the boss room is a bit wonky. I think that we're still going to be putting him. It's a fight between okay and bad, but I think he is a bit better than the actual last giant or on par. Dark Lurker. I think he is one of the coolest designed bosses Miyazaki has ever helped make. We're going to be putting him in good. I can't say I've ever fought him, but based off of like what I've seen, I think he deserves to be in good. Pursuer. I think Pursuer is probably one of the most underrated bosses in Dark Souls. It feels like it's a scrap. If it feels like a scrap boss fight, it's cool. And the fact that he follows you around the entire game and just shows up at random, I think it's cool. So we're going to be putting him probably, I would say, in good. I think he's underrated. Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. I am very, very tempted to just put this in bad because it's a gank boss. They heal each other, they resurrect each other, and it's just a prelude to Nashandra. So I'm going to be putting them in probably bad. Nashandra. Nashandra as the final boss, well, kind of the final boss in Dark Souls 2. She's not hard, and like, I wish there was like more lead up to like, oh, Nashandra, the evil queen of Vendrick, overthrows him, basically, yada yada. I think we just got to put her in because she's not hard, and her gimmick is she can curse you and kill you instantly. So I think we just got to put her in bad, and that's so like weird to look at that she's on like the same level as like the Skeletal Lords or like Leechmonger. It kind of hurts, but like I do think every boss above her is just better. And then Aldia, Scholar of the First Sin. It's like a piece of roots that just sit there and throw fire at you, and yeah. So I don't think Aldia is the coolest fight in the game. Dark Souls 2 as a whole has very little bosses that are actually cool, but I think we can put Aldia in probably bad as well. I don't know though. When we get to like Bloodborne and after that, that's when I'll be able to actually talk about bosses in a way that I'm confident about. These are all the DLC bosses that I have not fought. If I fought Fume Knight and Sir Alone, I'm sure they'd be up there in the rankings. Dragon Rider, though, I don't know why he's down here all of a sudden. He's a cool boss. He's literally one of the easiest bosses in the game, though. He is going to be staying in bad, though. All these DLC. Burnt Ivory King, he would also be at the top as well. Old Dragon Slayer. It's just Ornstein, reskin, put in Dark Souls 2. He's not gold, he's silver this time, but I do think he at least deserves to go on okay. Flexile Sentry, I think it's a cool idea of a boss, so we can put it in okay as well. Belfry Gargoyles, this is just the gargoyles from Dark Souls 1, the Bell Gargoyles, and it's just Belfry Gargoyles. There's more of them, and they all share a health bar. I'm almost tempted to put that in Abysmal, because they're not great and they're kind of bogus. Ruin Sentinels. I think the Ruin Sentinels as a boss are actually a pretty cool idea, so I'm going to be putting them in okay. In fact, they show up in Dark Souls 3, kind of gets them brownie points as well. Lost Sinner is people thought this was the hardest boss in the game for a while, and then I got to him or her, and I was like, okay. I am going to be putting him in good, though, because I do think he deserves that spot. Royal Rat Vanguard. I think that's another abysmal fight we're going to have to do because it's just a bunch of rats, and then one has a mohawk. That's basically it. Okay, we are on to Bloodborne. And I have fought every boss in Bloodborne, including all the Chalice bosses. The One Reborn. The One Reborn is one of the more disappointing bosses in Bloodborne because he is just like this big sludge that you just fight. And like I said, with the Tower Knight, you got the Bell Ladies shooting stuff at you while you're trying to fight it. And then it has like environmental stuff where it has like the oozing stuff that burns you, yada yada. The one reborn, I'm willing to put it in bad. It's just not good. Breedis, Daughter of the Cosmos. I think Breedis is a cool boss fight, but like it doesn't feel like it's anything special. It's a fun fight, but I feel like I'm just abusing the AI the entire time I'm fighting it. I think I've only fought Breedis like twice, and I can't say it was a particularly memorable experience. So probably gonna put a Breedis in like, I'm gonna put her in okay, because I don't think she's bad. Mikolash, amazing character, annoying fight, potential one-shot. We're putting Mikolash in okay. Because dodging the, what do you call it? The exploding move where he claps his hands in the air and it like can one-shot you. It's annoying. Murgo's Wet Nurse. This is essentially the final boss of the main game, besides like the one reborn or Garmin. It's an okay fight. It's not particularly hard. I do think they have a cool design. The lore of her is super cool, but I don't think it deserves anything more than okay. Amygdala. I think the fact that you see amygdalas everywhere throughout the game, and then you eventually get to fight one in the Hunter's Nightmare. I don't know. It's an okay fight, and I think it's a fun fight. I'm willing to put it in... I would put it in good, but then I compare it to the other bosses that are already here, and I don't think it meets up. Martyr Ligarius. This is the Pontiff Sullivan of Bloodborne, and I do believe it is an amazing fight. It is definitely up there as one of the funner fights in the entire series. Garmin the First Hunter. Oh, I so badly want to put him in top. I think I will. He's amazing. He is so cool. Like, his lore, the boss fight is iconic. Like, his, like, voice acting is outstanding. He was the first hunter. He's meant to be, like, the most bad A guy out there. It's super cool. Moon Presence. I do think it's a super cool, like, designed boss. But then he's got, like, that one-shot move where it puts you at 1 health, and you have to, like, rally your health back up. It is a cool way to end the series, and like, or not the series, the game, and even fighting the boss in the first place, you have to like get the umbilical cords. I think I'm gonna put a Moon Presence in good, because they're not bad, and I think his design is super cool. Ludwig the Holy Blade. We are definitely putting Ludwig in top tier. Coolest fight in Bloodborne. It has the Moonlight Greatsword, one of the greatest OSTs ever. The boss fight is the boss room is amazing. The cinematics are so cool. Only so many bosses have 2 cinematics in their entire series, and it is just the design and the story. The difficulty is definitely up there with one of the hardest bosses in the series. So definitely Ludwig belongs in top tier. Living Failures, and that's exactly what they are. Putting them in bad, because they're not quite abysmal status for me, because the OST carries them a little bit. The fight is nothing special though, and their design is nothing to cry home about. Cleric Beast. I think Cleric Beast is a good boss. Putting him in okay, not hard. Sound design's cool. OST is one of the better in the game. Lady Maria. I think we have to put Lady Maria in top as well, because that entire DLC is just fantastic. The Living Failures are probably the only bad boss. Lawrence is also very But Lady Maria, the bad A chicks that FromSoft come up with are probably all gonna go in top. I can tell you right now. That being Lady Maria, Melania, and Sister Freda are all probably gonna be going to top. I'm only putting the ones in top that have absolutely no flaws, or the flaws that they do have, I don't care about. And then amazing is they have like very low flaws. I probably should have explained this at the beginning of the video. And then good is I enjoy them, and then they have some flaws that kind of bug me, and that's what holds them from being a part of not top or amazing. Anyways, and then okay, bad, and abysmal are kind of speak for themselves. Lawrence the First Vicar. So Lawrence is hard. He does a unnecessary amount of damage, and he's a reskinned Cleric Beast that's on fire. He is harder, but I think we're gonna have to put him in probably okay, just because he's nothing special. Nothing special at all. Orphan of Kos. Well, probably the hardest or second hardest boss in all of Bloodborne. I'm so tempted to put him in top as well. I think I will. Because he's hard, but it feels fair. Almost. It feels fair almost. Just a little unfair, because you might get annoyed by his screaming and jumping around the entire boss room and such, but I think it's so cool. So cool. Okay, Father Gascoigne. I think he is a cool boss in my opinion, but he's held back a ton by his difficulty. He's not very hard. The hunter fights in the game are some of the better, and he's not exempt from this. But the fact that he is either the first or second boss that you fight in Bloodborne holds him back a bit. Like, I wish he was like farther in the game, but his story is so good though. I just forgot. I don't think I can put him on the same level as Moon Presence, Lost Sinner, and all of them, so I think we're going to be putting him in okay. Okay. Bloodstarved Beast. This is just a beast that poisons you. That's basically his lore. I'm tempted to put him in bad, and I think I probably will put him in bad. Vicar Amelia. Vicar Amelia is so cool. And if you didn't know, before you trigger her cutscene, you can hear her praying. She shares the same boss music as the cleric beast for whatever reason, and that's kind of annoying, because I feel like they could have definitely made their own OST for Vicar Amelia. That being said, I think we're going to be putting Vicar Amelia in okay as well, because the difficulty isn't too hard, but like sound design and visual design and like boss design and story in general are kind of what boosts Vicar Amelia up just a little bit for me. Wish of Hemwick, I think we have to put in Abysmal, because it's not hard. You can make the boss fight even easier by going in with 0 insight. And it's just not an enjoyable fight in the slightest, because you can get one shot, potentially, because of that little like stun thing they have. It's just kind of annoying. Dark Beast Parl. And admittedly, I've only fought this boss like once or twice, but I believe he falls for the thing that lets you lure them. The thing you throw, they'll go start attacking it. He's not hard. I think his design is super cool, but the camera's a bit wonky in the fight. I think we're just gonna have to put Dark Beast Parl in okay. Boosted mostly by his design. Shadows of Yharnam. I loved this boss at first, then I was just kind of like, they're like ring wraiths, basically. Ring wraiths with hoods, and they're cool, but they got snakes and they feel a bit gimmicky. Although I think we're still going to be putting them in okay, because I still enjoy them. Rom. I'm putting Rom in bad. I hate Rom, because you got all those spiders, and for whatever reason, if you're playing a regular new game, the spiders almost one-shot you, if not one-shot you. I don't know, like, if that's how it normally is, but every single normal playthrough I've gone through, the spiders, like, freaking almost one-shot me, and Rom's got these big hitboxes that are hard to dodge if you don't know what you're doing, and yada yada, so we're putting Rom in bad. Celestial Emissary, we're also going to be putting in bad as another the Deacons of the Deep type situation. A bit better than Deacons of the Deep, but because you get the big guy that eventually comes. Deacons of the Deep doesn't even get that. They get this scrawny little old man that casts spells at you and gets these fatties that use force on you. Merciless Watchers, we're getting to Chalice dungeon bosses now. Merciless Watchers, probably going to be putting them in bad. They're just the fat guy trio. Nothing special about them. Thumerian Descendant, I believe this is the guy that casts the spells at you. I forget which one is which between the Thumerian Descendant and Elder. I think the Elder is the one that has like the two sides that constantly attacks you and is kind of annoying. And the Descendant kind of just casts spells at you at the same time. Either way, I'm probably going to be keeping both of them in bad because neither of them are super special. Undead Giant is nothing to brag about as well. He'll also be going in bad. Watchdog of the Old Lords. It's this big fire dog. I got a bunch of bull crap hitboxes, and I hate the Defiled Watchdog of the Old Lords. And it's a bit better, in my opinion, than every Chalice Dungeon boss we've talked about so far, but I still think it's gotta go in bad. The Yarnum Thumerian Queen, it's a boss that it's completely unique. You see her in the main game, and then you see her in the chalices. And the boss fight isn't anything to cry home about, but I think I want to at least put her in okay, because she is, like, the whole, like, reason around going through the, chalice dungeons in the first place is to get to her. Or unless you're like me, where I used to religiously go through the chalice dungeon just to find rare stuff, because I was a tryhard like that. The Abhorrent Beast. I think his design is super cool. He is kind of difficult. He's this big guy. He go punchy. You can kind of parry him a bit, but to be honest, I don't remember this boss fight a ton, so I think we're just gonna put him in okay, because I don't think he's a bad boss, at least. Beast Possessed Soul, bad. He's a regular enemy that they turn into a boss. Bloodletting Beast, I think he's a cool boss fight. The camera is difficult in the room because he's a big boss, and he's got some wonky hitboxes. So I think we're gonna be putting him in probably bad. Brainsucker, another normal enemy they turned into a boss. We're gonna put Brainsucker and Beast Possessed Soul in Abysmal, actually, because they're just not hard. Forgotten Madman. That is just an NPC boss, right? See him with the Keeper of the Old Lords. Okay. So, my disc filled up. I don't remember what we talked about last. I believe we talked about the Keeper of the Old Lords and the Forgotten Madman. We had put the Forgotten Madman in Abysmal because it's an NPC boss, and the Keeper of the Old Lords just a bit higher because it's not as much of an NPC boss fight. And then the Lorian Dark Beast and Silver Beast, I don't remember if we talked about them or not. Put them in Abysmal because they are just regular enemies that they made into bosses. So, the Man-Eater Boar, just another regular enemy they put into a boss fight. And I think that's it for Bloodborne. Overall, Bloodborne got some pretty high rankings up there. Okay, we're getting into Dark Souls 3 now, which in my opinion is my favorite boss, or my favorite one in the series. So I do have it's the one I have the most playtime in. I have around like 900 hours. So I do have like the most fleshed out idea of like where these bosses belong. Starting with the old Demon King, bad. Nothing super special about him. A completely optional boss, not hard. No particularly like good lore around him. It's pretty cool that in his boss room there's Taurus and what are they even called? I forgot what they're called again. Asylum demons, as well as there's a Centipede demon in his boss room. That's like all he has going for him. Pontiff Sullivan. We're putting Pontiff Sullivan in amazing. Super cool boss fight. Super cool story. Super cool boss room. Super cool OST. Super cool fight. It's a one-on-one. 2 swords. Second stage is pretty cool. All around amazing boss fight. Aldrich, Devourer of the Gods. Probably going to be putting him in okay. People tend to like this boss a bit more than I do. It's a bit gimmicky. Magic. Teleporting across the room. Kind of annoying. He's in Anor Londo. Same boss room as Ornstein and Smough. Yorm the Giant. Now remember, we're rating this stuff based on, like, overall. His difficulty is not what makes him cool, in my opinion. It's his story, it's the overall feel of his boss fight, it's his OST, his story with Sigurd. I think that's enough to put him in good. Not amazing, but good. Dancer of the Boreal Valley, one of the harder bosses for me personally in Dark Souls 3. Because I pretty much perfected every boss, including the DLC bosses, but for some reason I still kind of struggle with Dancer of the Boreal Valley because she's got those endless combos. But she has one of the most unique OSTs in the game, and I think that's enough to put her close to amazing. Not quite though. She's going to be going to good. Osiris the Consumed King, super cool story. No difficulty to brag about, although she does have that cut content that is super cool that I decided not to go with. Osiris the Consumed King. I'm kind of confused with where I want to put him, because he's not bad, and he probably barely scratched just the surface of okay. Champion Gundyr. This is one of the coolest boss fights in the game if you don't parry. He's probably going to be going to good. He's basically the same as Udix Gundyr, but Udix Gundyr is a bit easier and is weak to fire. So we're going to be putting Gundyr, regular Gundyr, in okay. Dragon Slayer Armor, I think, is one of the coolest fights in the game. Definitely underrated when it comes to what people think of this boss. I think he's super cool. It's another one-on-one, like, scrap, basically. So I'm putting him in good. Lothric and Lorien, I'm putting them in amazing. Absolutely phenomenal fight with an amazing OST, amazing story. They're just super cool. Ancient Wyvern, abysmal. You jump on its head and it dies. That's all you have to say about it. Nameless King, also going to be putting in amazing. Not top, almost top, but he's cool. His story is that he's like Gwyn's son. He like abandoned his father to side with the dragons. And he's a very Elden Ring like boss in which he delays his attacks for so long. Soul of Cinder. I'm putting him in amazing. Most people would put him in top, but he's held back by a couple things for me. But like, for one is his difficulty. He has probably the most like how would I say it? He has the most versatile moveset, probably more than any other boss, I would say, in the series. Because he has like 5 movesets, plus another one in the second stage. And then he's got the plan in his boss fight music. Champion's Gravetender. I think people give this boss a bad rap for being a DLC boss. It's not bad. Like, I'm willing to put Champion's Gravetender in okay, but they're definitely not bad. Sister Freda, like I said, the bad A chicks that Fromsoft makes are all gonna go on top, and Sister Freda is definitely not an exception from that. One of the first, if not the first, like 3-stage boss fights that Fromsoft has made. Definitely one of the most unexpected, and my reaction to it was like, are you kidding me? I thought it was done after the second stage, like I'm sure everyone else was. But one of the coolest boss fights in Dark Souls 3. Probably like my second or third. Demon Prince, cool boss fight, held back by a bit of design. It's cool looking, but I think we're going to be putting it in good. Half-Light, probably another bad one for Dark Souls 3 because it's another PvP boss fight and the NPC is nothing to cry home about. Dark Eater Midir. We're going to be putting Dark Eater Midir in amazing. Held back mostly by difficulty. And his story is super cool. He has one of the cooler boss fights in the entire game. But there's not many reasons keeping him out of top. Just something in my head is keeping him back from being on the level of the ones we have up here. Probably mostly just his difficulty. Slave Knight Gale, probably my favorite or second favorite in Dark Souls 3. Definitely belongs in top tier along with the rest of them up there. One of the funnest fights in the game, if not the funnest. The story of him being like searching out the Dark Soul, and he is like such a fitting final boss to the Dark Souls series. And his just sound design is just so cool as one of the coolest like boss rooms. Like I could just talk about him forever. He's so cool. Board of the Boreal Valley, not hard, okay fight, one of the best OSTs in the game. He's probably going to be going in okay. Crush Rod Greatwood, I'm almost tempted to make this boss fight its own tier because I just hate it that much. It's not difficult, it's just not good. Man, we're going to be zoomed out a lot here. Like, I can barely read this. You're going to see me squinting a lot to be like, what am I looking at? Like, I can't even tell what I'm looking at, so how can I expect you guys to tell what you're looking at? Crystal Sage. Nothing real special about them. They're not hard. They're a pretty gimmick fight. Probably a bad. Deacons of the Deep. Abysmal boss fight in Dark Souls 3. Because it's a bunch of guys that just stand around, shoot fire at you every now and then, kind of smack you. You got to get the red guy. That's it. Okay, Abyss Watchers. Top. for me it's top, and you'll never hear me stop gushing about this fight because Abyss Watchers, best OST in the series in my opinion. it's so cool that the boss fights itself, and the lore behind them fighting themselves is super cool. And the fact that they're like directly tied to Artorias gives them huge brownie points, in my opinion. I could talk about them for ages, but check out my Dark Souls 3 or a video where I rank all the bosses there, where I went into more detail. High Lord Wolnir, nothing special. Has poison mist that's annoying. He sometimes makes it so it's hard for you to hit his wrists. We're putting him in bad. And that was it for Dark Souls 3. And now we are getting onto Sekiro, which the combat in Sekiro is so good. It's like probably rivaled only by Bloodborne, and it's probably beats Bloodborne in my opinion. So starting with the True Corrupted Monk. In my opinion, this is one of my favorite bosses in the entire game. I think we're going to be putting them in amazing. Fully, like design-wise, the True Corrupted Monk is probably the coolest looking boss fight in Sekiro. Not the coolest looking, but like just the design of the monk. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. The Divine Dragon, who is very much a contender of the coolest looking boss fight in the game. It's not hard by any means, and the first stage of the boss fight is definitely dragging, but it's just so cool and cinematic. Owl Father. I forget some of the differences between Owl Father and such, but this is the one where you are go back in time and fight him. This is the more difficult one, I would say. Definitely enough to be put in amazing, because I love the owl fight, except for the true owl. That's difficult. Demon of Hatred, probably going to be putting him in good, because he's a Dark Souls boss fight in the Sekiro game, and that kind of holds him back just a little bit for me. He is difficult, one of the most difficult in the game, but his story is cool, but he's mainly held back by like his difficulty feels a bit unfair. Ishin the Sword Saint. This guy right here, going in top. Best fight in Sekiro by far. It is just so cool. Emma the Gentle Blade. She's easy. Her story's cool. She's there to stop you from coming Shura. So we can keep her in okay. She's nothing to brag home about. Genichiro Wave Tomoe. This is the easier version of Genichiro. We're going to be putting him in bad just because he's not cool. Inner Genichiro. There's an Inner Genichiro. This is the one where he has the Sakura dance, right? I'm willing to put him in good, because he's basically the same, but he gains the Sakura dance, and he can reflect your lightning back at you just for you to reflect it back. It's cool. I feel like that if when we get to Genichiro later, it's not gonna get him much above regular, just Inner Genichiro. We'll see. Inner Father. Inner Father is my roadblock to completing the freaking gauntlet. Like, he's hard. He kills me every time in the gauntlet. And that does actually hurt him for me. He's a cool boss, but he has like the shadow step thing that's so hard to parry, and he does so much damage. It's hard. Inner Ishin. He's like Ishin, Sword Saint, but he gains, I forget what move he gains, but he's essentially the same, but I don't remember what it is he gets. Does he get a lightning move? I think he gets a lightning move or something. Gyobu Masataka Oniwa. He's an okay fight. He's nothing special, but he's okay, I guess. Lady Butterfly, also okay. A bit better than Gyobu in my opinion, but we're going to still put her in okay. Genichiro Ashina, this is the first one you fight from him. We're going to be putting him in probably good, because he's not hard. He's like, in my opinion, this is the boss fight that like teaches you how to play Sekiro, and he makes total sense. And when you get to him, you get their revenge on him from being like at the start of the game. Folding Screen Monkey's abysmal boss fight. I spent like half an hour trying to fight them my first time, because like I didn't get that they had like ways you were supposed to kill them. I knew there were ways to kill them, but even the ways that are explained, it feels rough. Guardian Ape. I'm gonna put Guardian Ape in okay because he's annoying and I always dread fighting him. Corrupted Monk is like the true Corrupted Monk, but it's I hate it when FromSoft does the whole we're gonna show you a boss before the actual person thing, like the Corrupted Monk and Goldfree. So we're gonna be putting Corrupted Monk in. I would say bad. I hate it when FromSoft does that. Headless Ape, is this just the second phase or is this like the duo boss? Because if it's a duo boss, that is the worst fight in Sekiro, I think. Because it's so annoying and it doesn't feel like the AI is balanced around like having to fight two of them at once. Great Shinobi Owl. This is the one where you fight him up in the tower, I believe. I'm willing to put him in amazing. He's cool. He uses the prosthetic the most. Ishin Ashina. This Ishin isn't as good, in my opinion. Definitely easier and has like the grab attack and like the fire attacks. I think we're going to be putting him in good because that does hurt him just a little bit. Oh gosh, are we really about to go through all the mini bosses of Sekiro? Okay, here we go. Ashina Elite. This is the guy that you parry or one shot. It's a fun fight, but it feels like a mini boss. Long Arm Centipede. These are like the guys that spam on you. I would also say bad. Armored Warrior. I think he's cool. He can go in okay. The Shaman Warriors, they're kind of cool, although the fact that they do the terror on you, potential one-shot, is a bit of annoying. I'd say bad. Snake Eyes, these guys are annoying. They are a bit fun to fight, though, because I learned how to do it, so we're going to put them in okay. The Gluttons, they're okay, but probably still bad. Miss Noble, lol. Oren of the Water, annoying. An annoying amount of freaking, what do you call it, posture. Probably bad. Sakura Bull, it's just another bull, so it's bad. Okami Leader Shizu, he's easy as piss when you actually eventually get to him. Leader, I don't even know who that is. Shingnor Yamachi? I don't even know. Probably abysmal. I don't know. It's probably bad, though. Great Carp. Attendant. Am I just forgetting that these guys are bosses? This is another one of the Gluttons. This guy is a bit harder because he has more posture and he has the guys helping him out. At least I think so. The Great Serpent. Probably abysmal because you don't actually fight the thing. The Great Colored Carp. I wouldn't even count this as a boss. The Samurai General. That's like the first guy you fight in the game. Bad. Yeah, he does teach you a couple things though. Chained Ogre, I think is okay. He definitely teaches you some things. Blazing Bull, abysmal. No. It's not what represents Sekiro as a game. Like, you want to fight sword characters. 7 Ashina Spears. I think this guy's cool. I think this guy at least deserves good. Which is... No, never mind. We're putting him okay, because he's definitely not on the level of these guys up here. Lone Shadow. I think these guys are cool. They're definitely a roadblock that you have to learn how to fight. Probably putting them in bad, though. Because I don't like it when they put the normal enemies as bosses. The Headless, oh my gosh. We're going to put them in okay, but they're so annoying. But that's what gets them their rap, is that they are annoying and that you get the sugars from killing them. Shinobi Hunter, this guy is from the memory. We're probably going to be putting him in abysmal because he teaches you about Makiri counter. Chuzo the Drunkard, this is just one of the Gluttons. Bad. Oh, are we in Elden Ring now? Okay, the rest of these bosses are Elden Ring, and this video has been long, so we're kind of gonna speed through this. Godskin Noble, this is the fat guy, right? We can put him in okay. No, we're putting him in bad because he's fat. He's not hard once you get the hang of him. He's got that roll attack that's annoying. Rykard, he's a Yorm that's not as cool, in my opinion. Bad. Gray roll. This is literally, he just sits there and lets you beat on him. Abysmal. Decaying Achezes. I think this is one of the dragons from Kaled. Bad. I think a lot of the dragons are just going to be bad, unless I know one that's a bit better. Star Scourge Radon. We're going to be putting Radon in good, because he's just cool. He's cool. He's not hard, particularly, but you got, like, the boys fighting with you. Mimic Tier. If you're fighting yourself, are you the greatest boss? I don't know. This one's a bit weird because you can make it easy and you can gimmick it. So I feel like we're just going to put him in okay. Because it depends on how you approach it. The Ancestral Spirit, I'm probably in bad because it's not hard. It's got some wonky hitboxes and it heals. So that makes it a bit annoying. The Gargoyles. Oh my gosh. Freaking the first time I fought these guys, they were one of the hardest on my first playthrough because I hate gank bosses, especially with these two freaking gargoyles. Bad. Not abysmal because I can respect that they're a bit hard. VS Champions. Probably abysmal. Where'd they go? Oh, there. Probably abysmal because I hate NPC fights. Dragonkin. The Dragonkins are hard, and they're a bit annoying, so probably bad. Estelle. I think Estelle is definitely underrated. Like, I would say they're at least good. Goldfree. Like I said, it's another case of we're going to show you this boss before actually showing you the actual person, so we're putting them in bad. Actually, where did I put the True Corrupted Monk? Did I put the... There you are. Okay, yeah, so Goldfree is going here too. Morgoth, the Omen King. This is the second one you fight of him, right? If that's the case, then he's going in amazing, because I think he's definitely one of the cooler boss fights in Elden Ring. Morgoth, the Pharaoh Omen. This is the first time you fight him. He's good. I'm putting him in okay, though. Definitely beats your butt. Moog the Omen. Is this... Okay, this is Sewer Moog. I have not fought Sewer Moog. The Freezing Fog. This dragon is such bogus. He does so much damage to you. But it's another dragon fight, so bad. Commander Neil. I think Neil, despite everyone probably hating him, I think he's cool. I think he's underrated. I think his like boss fight is actually super cool. If he didn't have the two knights at the start, he would be one of the better in the game, in my opinion. Fire Giant. Okay, I guess. He's not a hard fight by any means, but the fact that he's rolling around hurts him a bit, and I don't want to chase a boss the entire fight. Let's Dragon Fortisax. This is probably the dragon that is going to be highly ranked. At least good. But he does have like the Death Blight where he has the potential to just one-shot you. Godskin Duo. Can we make a Godskin Duo tier? Put it on the same level as what do you call it? Curse Rod Greatwood. Okay, the Beast Clergyman and Malekith. I think we have to because I think his design is so cool. He's probably top. Probably top. Because he's so cool. That's all we have to say about him. The Beast Clergyman, he's a bit fast, and it's like something you gotta adapt to, but that's what the games are for, right? Dragon Placidusidax. I think Fortisax is better, although he's a bit cinematically cool. I think they're about the same level, but I do like Fortisax a bit better. Gideon. It's either bad or abysmal, but probably bad because he is manageable. Horalu. My opinion, my favorite boss probably in Elden Ring. Probably. She's so cool. Moog, Lord of Blood, gimmick fight. He never gives you a chance to attack. That being said, he's cool, and I respect that he can kick my butt. Great Worm. Oh, these are the big guys. Probably bad. They're okay, but they're not great. Loretta. Yeah, Loretta's probably bad. The Misbegottens. probably bad. Melania. Melania. Yeah. Like I said. Melania, Lady Maria, Sister Freda. Definitely died to Melania the most out of anyone in Elden Ring. Radagon and Elden Beast. I wish they kind of separated these, but they are essentially the same boss fight. Radagon, I would put in S. Elden Beast, I would put in A or B. Radagon is so cool, and Elden Beast is probably amazing or good. So I'm going to put them in a happy medium and amazing. Godric, okay, I guess. Red Wolf, bad. Renala, probably okay. Ancestor Spirit, what's the difference between the Regal and the Ancestor Spirit? I think I've fought this one, but not this one. Dragonkin Soldier, bad. Loretta again, but Ghost version, probably abysmal. And we'll put them in bad, like on the same with Corrupted Monk and Goldfree. There's 2.5 Glintstone Dragons, why? It's a dragon fight, bad. Magma Worm, bad. Landsax. That's the one you fight outside Landa, right? He's cool. He's cool. We'll put him in okay. Why not? Elmer of the Briar. I think he's cool. I think he at least deserves, okay. Bruh. These are all just regular enemies. Draconic Tree Sentinel. He's okay. He's aight. Deathrite Bird. I think this is the one I fought. He's cool. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure I skipped past. I'm just going to edit out the bosses that I did down here, because a good amount of them are just regular Elden Ring enemies made into bosses, but know that most of them are just abysmal regular enemies made into bosses. But to recap, we're gonna go over just a couple of these top ones. Our top is Knight Artorias, Ludwig, Gehrman, Lady Maria, Orphan of Kos, Sister Freda, Slave Knight Gale, Abyss Watchers, Ishin, Inner Ishin, Malekith, Hoarlu or Godfrey, and Melania. We didn't have a single top tier from Dark Souls 1, 2. Or is that just it? Dark Souls 1 or 2 didn't get a top tier. And only Dark Souls... Oh no, Dark Souls 1 got Artorias. Dark Souls 2 did not deserve any top tiers. And then for Amazing, we got Penetrator, Smelter Demon, Looking Glass Knight, Velstadt, Martyr Vicarious, Pawn of Sylvan, Lothric and Lorien, Nameless King, Soul of Cinder, Dark Eater Madeira, True Corrupted Monk, Divine Dragon, Owl Father, Great Shinobi Owl, Morgoth, the Omen King, and Radagon, Elden Beast. Other than that, you can take a look at what I've got here. Bit of a fun thing, bit of a longer episode, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.